Hey everyone, welcome back to Beauty Beyond 40. Today's video is very exciting. It features a new tool from 7E Wellness. I'm gonna tell you all about it and I have a demo. But before we get started, if you're new here, hi, my name's Trina. I'm 47 years old. I'm almost 48. I turned 48 in May. And I make videos mostly about beauty devices. So if you're interested in this topic, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel before you leave. I'm also on TikTok and Instagram where I post a lot of sneak peeks for the new devices that I'm testing. So I would love it if you would follow me there as well. I will leave links to all of this down in the description in case you're interested. Today's video is about 7E Wellness's new Kansa Gua Sha tool that you pair with your microcurrent device to get a Gua Sha Microcurrent facial. So you're getting the benefits of Gua Sha and of Kansa and of microcurrent in one treatment. I was really excited when I heard about this tool that was coming out because I am a huge fan of Kansa. I have this Kansa wand that I've been using and I featured on my social media to do facial massage and to release a lot of the tension that I hold in my jaw. I love this tool so much. So when I found out there was a Kansa tool coming out that pairs with my Myolift devices, I was really excited. Gua Sha is not new. I think a lot of you watching already use Gua Sha. I've been using it for a really long time. Kansa is certainly not a new metal. It is made of tin and copper, and it's an Ayurvedic tool, so this is definitely not new. And of course, microcurrent isn't new. And you may have already seen Gua Sha combined with microcurrent on Penn Smith's channel, so this concept already does exist. There are other tools out there on the market that combine Gua Sha and microcurrent, but this specific Kansa Gua Sha tool has been specifically designed to work with Myolift devices. In fact, you can use it with any Myolift device you have. So the QT, the Mini, if you have the 600 or the MD, it works with all of them. And the protocols that were created by 7E Wellness were designed specifically to help you optimize your results from your treatment that combines Gua Sha and microcurrent with a 7E Wellness device. It's a very exciting concept because there's so much you can do when you combine a Gua Sha tool with a microcurrent tool. Today, I'm gonna be demoing a tension release treatment. If you're interested in learning other ways to combine this Kansa Gua Sha tool with Myolift devices, Katie, the organic esthetician, also has a video. You can watch her do a different type of treatment. And 7E Wellness is going to be rolling out more treatments very soon. So make sure to keep an eye on their social media and their website so that you can learn additional ways that you can use this tool. I'm going to be featuring just using one Gua Sha tool. You can order a set that has two Gua Sha tools in case you want to use them more like you do the probes. You can also combine one Gua Sha tool with a conductive glove. There's so much that you can do, but to keep things simple, I'm just gonna focus on that tension release massage, and I'm gonna go through movements that you're probably already familiar with if you already have a Gua Sha tool, and it's just really cool how you can combine the movements of a Gua Sha massage with microcurrent to get additional benefits. I'm gonna be using it on Erase today, so I'll be smoothing out fine lines and wrinkles, and I'll be boosting ATP. I'll be getting that microcurrent glow at the same time that I'm releasing tension, which is gonna be great for releasing knots and tension, especially in my jaw because I grind my teeth and I clench my jaw when I'm sleeping, so I always have soreness here. So it's great to release that tightness, great to release that soreness. It's great for knots and adhesions in the muscles where you might need to release fascia. Now, as I said before, Kansa is a metal made of tin and copper. It is from Ayurvedic medicine. It's known for its abilities to balance and heal the skin, and it's also an excellent conductor of microcurrent. It's really the perfect partner for a Myolift device. I'm also really excited to announce the details of 7E Wellness's Mother's Day sale. If you buy a QT or a Mini, you get a free Gua Sha tool kit. So that is with one Gua Sha tool. There is special pricing for the 1-pack Gua Sha and the 2-pack Gua Sha. I will leave down in the description below. All the info is down there, all the details, the pricing, the links, so that you can click right through to shop. When you order the 1-pack Gua Sha, you get the tool that comes in this really beautiful carrying case here, just to keep it nice and safe and clean. You get 1 pack of electrodes, and you will need 2. You will place one of the electrodes on the tool, and then the other one you'll place on your skin to complete the circuit from the microcurrent device. Also in your kit will be a pair of gloves. I believe these are nitrile gloves, and you need to use gloves because you want the current to go to your face and your neck, not your hands. So that's why it's really important to wear gloves. I used these for my demo and I will probably not reuse them. And I have a whole box here of my vinyl gloves. I'll link to these down in my description if you want to shop additional gloves. You will need nitrile or latex or vinyl gloves just to make sure that the current is going to where you want it, your face and your neck, and not your hands. So it seems a little confusing, but I promise it's not. Once you get started and do it the first time, it becomes so much easier. And I did do it the very first time on camera for you in the demo today, which I love to do so you can see what it's like to get started. And I was a little bit clumsy, but I definitely figured it out because I have used gua sha before. So it was really just getting the hang of having the electrodes on my skin and the electrode on the tool and just maneuvering it with the cords in the way, but you'll get used to it really quickly if you just follow the movements. It was a little bit awkward to get started, then once I got into it, it was fine. So like I said before, you can plug the tool into any Myolift device you have. You'll need to have the lead wire. You plug it in either to the back of the Myolift Mini or right into the bottom of your QT here. I'm gonna be doing my Myolift Mini today. I will show you that when we get to the demo portion, but the lead wire just looks like this that you plug into the electrodes. You plug these in right on the bottom of these electrodes. It's really easy. For today's facial release massage, I'm gonna be using Erase on my Myolift Mini at 300 microamps. And it makes sense. If I'm releasing tension, I want to lengthen or stretch and release that tension. For today's treatment, I will be using my Replenish Conductivity Spritzer. I will be using my Restore gel. I have a bowl and a brush. If you want, you could start out with a hydrating serum underneath your gel. 70 Wellness has a copper peptide serum. You could put some of the facial spritzer on and then the copper peptide serum, then put on the gel and then get started with your treatment. It's totally up to you. You do not have to use a serum, but since microcurrent will push the serums deeper into your skin, it would be a great opportunity to optimize your results by using a hydrating serum with anti-aging benefits. So that is basically it. I'm going to cut to the demo portion of this gua sha tool. I've got my Myolift Mini here that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to connect the lead wire to the machine. So I'll take the USB and I'll plug it right into the back, right here. And then I've got these sticky electrodes here, and I'm going to connect the lead wire directly to these. I'm going to plug them in. Okay. So my skin is clean and dry, and I've got with me my 7E Wellness Replenish Conductivity Spritzer that I'll use to wet my face before I put the gel on and throughout the treatment when I need my face to be a little bit wetter, when I want the gel to be a little bit more wet for more slip and more conductivity. I've got my Jumbo Restore Gel here, my conductivity gel from 7E Wellness, and I have put some of that into a bowl to make it really easy to access, and I've got my silicone brush from 7E Wellness that I'll use to apply the gel, just so that I don't make a mess. So I'm gonna go ahead and spritz my face. I'm going to place the gel all over the side of my face where we'll be working the gua sha tool, and I'm also gonna do it on my neck because we will be working the neck. So I'm gonna do all the way the side of my face and down my neck. And remember, this is for slip for the gua sha tool and also for conductivity. I know that it might seem weird to use gel with a gua sha tool. In the past, I know that I always use a face oil with gua sha, but if you use oil, as you know, it's not going to conduct the microcurrent, so you should use a conductivity gel. And then we're gonna be placing the electrode on this side of my neck, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of gel there as well. And now, as we're working, I've got my bowl of gel and I have my facial spritzer, so if I need a little bit more slip or more wetness, I can reapply more gel or I can spritz my face. It's totally up to you which one you prefer to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and place this electrode on this side of my neck here, over where I just put on the gel. And it sticks on pretty nicely, pretty easily, but since I'm gonna be talking throughout this video, it might start to move around or slip, and so I'll have to push it back on. So Don't worry about that. When you're doing this at home along with me, you're not gonna be talking, I don't think. So it's not gonna move around as much for you. I will talk you through the different sides of the Gua Sha tool. This is how 7E Wellness names the sides. So this is the big C, this is the little c, this is the V on the top here, and if I flip it around, this is the W. So I'll be referring to these different sides of the tool throughout the tutorial today. So now I'm gonna place the other electrode on the Gua Sha tool. So this is what this looks like. And then I'm going to turn my Myolift Mini on, and I'm going to set it for level 1 erase, intensity 300. If you want to use 400, feel free. If you want to start a little lower, feel free. This is the intensity that 7E Wellness recommends when you get started with this, so I'm gonna follow the protocol. If you want a little bit more intensity, feel free to turn it up. If it feels at all uncomfortable or prickly, definitely turn down the intensity because it should not be uncomfortable. And then I'm gonna hit run. And the reason why we have 2 electrodes, one on the Gua Sha and one here on the side of my neck, is because we're going to complete the microcurrent circuit. So I'm going to take the little C edge here and I'm going to place it at the bottom of my neck. I'm going to place one hand here and I'm holding the tool pretty flush against my skin. You do not want to do Gua Sha perpendicular. It should be about 15 degrees off of your skin. So never perpendicular, always right up against your skin like this. And I'm checking for conductivity and I'm going to drag the blade up to the top of my neck and I'm checking my device to make sure I have conductivity, and I do. And when I get to the top, I'm going to do a little wiggle. And I'm using medium pressure here. Not too hard, not too soft. It definitely should hurt, it should feel good, and I'm doing a tension release massage. So that's why the pressure is medium. So I'm just going to keep doing this a few times. And we're starting at the neck and we're gonna work our way up this side of the face. I decided to do voiceover for the rest of the tutorial because while I'm talking, it's really hard to keep the electrode on my skin. I'm gonna add a little bit more gel on my neck because it can be difficult to get conductivity on the neck area, and I'm just adding a little bit more gel all over my face just to make sure it's nice and wet. Now I'm going to take the W edge and I'm going to place it just so that my jawbone sits right in that dimple. I use my opposite hand to help support the skin, and I have plenty of slip so I'm not pulling or tugging at my skin. And I end right in the back of the jaw near my earlobe and I give that little wiggle. And I'm going to do that 5 times. And this move gives a really nice contouring effect as you slide it across your jawline. You may feel a lot of tension in your jaw area back by your ear. I know I always do because I clench my jaw a lot while I'm sleeping. So you can use a little bit deeper pressure. You want to make sure that you do this movement nice and slow. And if you find that the W edge doesn't work well for you, you can test using the other sides. It's up to you to find the edges that work well with your face shape and give you the desired results. I'm going to spritz my face and then take the big C edge and place it on the lower portion of my face. I'll put the other hand where it was before, and then I'll slowly glide the tool back toward my ear and give a little wiggle when I get to the end. I'm moving slowly, but I'm using a little bit of a deeper pressure here because, again, I have a lot of tightness in my jaw. This actually feels amazing. So if you have tightness or TMJ, feel free to use a little bit deeper pressure. It shouldn't hurt or feel uncomfortable, so it's up to you to adjust the pressure. And feel free to do this more than 5 times if you'd like. You could do it 10 times if you have a lot of tension in this area that you'd like to release. Don't worry if your skin gets a little bit pink. Mine definitely does when I work this area, but it's really because you're increasing circulation and you're stimulating the area, but it's okay, it will go away. This is completely normal. Now I'm going to take the same big C edge and place the tool underneath the jawline, and I'm going to slide it back again. This movement is sculpting the jawline and helping to break up the tight adhesive areas, but it's also helping to clear out some of the fluid retention. Doing these movements near the jawline here is really, really good for double chin and for jowls and for people that feel they have puffy or slack jawline. And you can start to see the area has a little bit more definition as I'm working the area with my Gua Sha tool. I'm finishing up the 5th movement here and then taking a little pause so we can do a side-by-side comparison. Now I'm going to apply a little bit more gel on my upper cheek and start to work the area above my jaw. I'm going to take that same big C edge and I'll place my hands right on my jawline near the outside to brace, and then the big C edge is going to slide up until I hit the cheekbone, and when I hit the cheekbone, I wiggle the tool. Again, I'm going to do this 5 times and move very slowly. If you'd like to do it more than 5 times, feel free. I'm using medium pressure, but do whatever feels best for you. I'm pausing again to show you the difference on one side of my face. So now we're gonna take the little C edge and use it to scoop the inner cheek. So I'm gonna start at the jawline and hold the other hand underneath and slide the tool upwards until I hit the apple of the cheek and then wiggle. This movement is helping to release the muscles that pull down on the face, and it's also hitting a bunch of acupressure points, and it feels amazing. So slide up, scoop the cheek, and wiggle. Move slowly and do it 5 times, and make sure you're always checking the conductivity bar so you're getting the microcurrent benefits as well as the Gua Sha benefits. Next, we're going to use the little C again and start next to the mouth and slide along the cheek upwards and end in the temple area and wiggle. You're starting in the nasolabial fold, sliding across and up to the temple, and then wiggling. Do it slowly 5 times. And if you find that the W edge works better here, if your face is a little smaller, you can do it like this. But I like to use the little C on my face, so that's what I'm going to do. Next, we're gonna do the eye area, and I'm adding more gel to the area before I start. I'm keeping my intensity at 300, but if your eye area is sensitive, feel free to decrease the intensity so it's comfortable. For this area, we'll use the V side or this tip, and we'll gently start in the corner of the eye and slide out to the temple and do a little wiggle. I use lighter pressure under my eye because the area is really delicate, and I use a little bit more pressure once I get out to the temple. And in this area, the Gua Sha pressure is so light, it might not feel like much is happening underneath your eye. I like to call out here that you're really getting the microcurrent benefits in this area, and I love how my eye area looks so much more open and relaxed. Just look at how it lifts my eyebrow. I just love this movement. So next I'm gonna move up to the crow's feet and forehead area, and what I find works best sometimes is to move the electrode to the other side of my neck and move it up a little bit, because we're working higher on the face and it can be hard to get conduction sometimes when the electrode is on the other side of the neck. So I spritz the neck to make sure it's a little wet and then place the electrode on the other side and then move on to the crow's feet area. And I'm being very gentle here. I'm just starting at the bottom of my eye, gliding upward, straight up, and then doing a little wiggle when I get to the top. And I'm doing it 5 to 10 times. And this is helping to erase or smooth the fine lines and wrinkles in my crow's feet area. Next, I'm gonna move to the brow bone. So I'm putting some more gel on, and then I'm going to use the W edge here. And I'm gonna place one hand on the center of my forehead to brace the skin. And then I'm going to glide the tool out to the temple and do a little wiggle. And I'm gonna do that 5 times. This helps to lift the brow. So I'm just gently sliding. And then when I get out to the temple, I'm doing a wiggle. And I forgot to mention that it doesn't matter what side you're using of the tool. As you can see here, I'm flipping it around. It matters what edge you're using. So like the W or the little C, but it doesn't matter what side you're using. So you can play around with it, flip it around, and use the side that helps you get the best grip and the best movement that you feel comfortable with using the tool. I'm going to use the little C again and work the forehead area. And for this area, you want the tool to be flat against your forehead. So you slide upward until you hit the hairline and then wiggle. And you do this 5 times over the brow up to the forehead. This is really good at relaxing the forehead and smoothing out fine lines and wrinkles on the forehead or expression lines in the area. After working the outer brow area, I move in toward the center brow area near the center of my forehead. And again, I do it 5 times, sliding up and then wiggling once I get to the hairline. Always I'm checking for conduction to make sure the microcurrent is working. And I do this 5 times, taking my time. And when I'm done, you can see how my eyebrow is a little higher on this eye. And now that my whole face is done, you can see how this one side of my face is more lifted. My skin looks tighter and fuller, and I'm feeling really motivated to do the other side of my face so that I can get the same results on the other side. So to do the other side, I place the electrode on my neck on the opposite side. I put on some facial spritzer and then I apply some gel all over my face and my neck. Doing the same thing we did on the other side, start with a little C, place one hand on the bottom of the neck, then with the other hand, glide the Gua Sha tool up and wiggle when you get to the top. Always check for conduction. The neck can be a little bit tricky, so make sure you have enough gel or spritzer and do this 5 times, moving slowly, gliding up the neck, up toward the jawline, and when you get to the top, give it a little wiggle. Now, using the W edge, place one hand on the chin, and with the other hand, glide the Gua Sha tool across the jawline, keeping the groove of the W right along the jawline. And when you get to the earlobe, give it a little wiggle. And here you can use a little bit more pressure if you want to release any tension you may have around the jaw area. If it's really tight, do what's comfortable for you, moving slowly, gliding, and then giving a little wiggle once you get to the ear. Now, using the big C edge, place the tool under the jawline and place one hand on the chin, and with the Gua Sha tool, glide it against the jawline out to the ear, then do a little wiggle. Do this 5 times, working slowly, and use medium pressure to make sure you're releasing the tension. Remember, you can do any of these movements up to 10 times if you need any more of a release in any of the areas. Now that section is finished and you can see my skin's a little bit pink, I'm going to put on a little bit of gel on my cheek area, and I'm going to take the big C edge and hold one hand under the jaw and then place the Gua Sha tool at the edge of the jaw, holding it flush against my skin as much as possible. And I'm going to glide it to the cheekbone and give it a little wiggle. I'm going to do this 5 times, moving slowly and applying medium pressure to make sure I'm releasing the tension in my cheeks and my jaw area. Now moving to the little C, I'm going to move toward the intersection of my cheek. So I'm going to place one hand under my jaw, and then with the other hand, I'm going to glide the Gua Sha tool up to my cheekbone, to the apple of my cheek, and give it a little wiggle. Again, I'm doing this 5 times. I'm moving slowly, applying medium pressure to make sure I release that tension. And this really does feel amazing. Here's a quick pause so we can see the side of my face is getting lifted already. Now we're going to use the little C and place one hand on my chin, and then the Gua Sha tool is going to start in the nasolabial fold and then glide up and out to the temple with a little wiggle at the end. Again, we'll do this 5 times. You can use the W edge if your face is a little smaller and it feels more comfortable, but I like to use the little C. Next, we'll be moving to the under eye area, so I'm placing a little bit more gel under my eye, and I'm going to move the electrode to the other side of my face to make sure that I get conduction as we move toward the higher portion of the face. You can do this whenever you need to if you're not getting conduction once you move to the eye and forehead area. So I'm placing some gel all around my eye, getting ready to do the eye area. And I'm going to use the V point here, place one hand on my nose, and with the Gua Sha tool, I'm gently gliding from the inner corner of my eye out to the temple and giving a little bit of a wiggle. And I'm using very light pressure under my eye because it's such a delicate area. And once I get out to the temple, I can apply a little bit more pressure, but just be really careful in this area as always when you're working the eye area, and let the microcurrent really work this area as opposed to using a lot of pressure with the Gua Sha tool. Then we'll move to the crow's feet area, and I'll hold one hand at the bottom of my crow's feet area and use the Gua Sha tool to slide up and smooth out those fine lines and wrinkles. So this is just a straight up movement as we're smoothing out those fine lines and wrinkles. Glide it up. When we get to the top near the hairline, give a little wiggle. Do this 5 times or more, depending on how many lines you want to smooth out. And you can already see my eye is starting to look so much more open. I just love using this on the eye area. Then we're going to use the W edge and place the tool right over the eyebrow, holding the other hand on the center of the forehead to brace the skin, and just gliding out toward the temple, giving a little wiggle. Doing this 5 times, going slowly. You can apply a little bit more pressure than you did under the eye, and I'm always checking to make sure I have conduction. Gliding out, keeping the tool as flush against the skin as possible, and giving a little wiggle once we get to the temple. Next, we're going to use the W edge again, and I'm going to start on the inner corner of my brow and glide it up toward the hairline 5 times. Give it a little wiggle when you get to the hairline. This is great, again, for smoothing out fine lines and wrinkles, expression lines on the forehead. You can also do this sideways if you have 11s or any other lines that you want to smooth out. Using the big C edge, I'm going to move to the center portion of my eyebrow and glide up to smooth out any fine lines and wrinkles on this outer section of my forehead. So gliding up to the hairline and giving a little wiggle, doing this 5 times. This is so great for smoothing out fine lines and wrinkles, and any expression lines that you have on the forehead. And lifting the whole brow area and just making your eye area look more open, more youthful, more relaxed. And also, if you have 11s, this is a good time to work on smoothing those lines as well. So you can really customize the experience where you have lines that you want to smooth out. And that's it for that eye. You can see it's so much more lifted. I feel really amazing. I love this tension release facial, and I'm going to be incorporating it into my beauty device routine at least once a month. So that is it for my video today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to take advantage of the Mother's Day sale, where if you buy a QT or a mini device, you get a free 1-pack Gua Sha tool. And I do have special pricing for the 1-pack and 2-pack Gua Sha tool, so head down to the description for additional information and links. I thank you so much for watching today. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a like, leave a comment, share with a friend, and make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my videos, and I will see you in the next one.